Alright, I'm just going to get this out of the way now so we're not spending the rest of the video thinking about it. But yes, I do have a balance beam? Yes, that is a balance beam in my car because I'm a dance teacher props. So I just thought I would acknowledge the balance beam in the room so we can move on with the video. And hello, my name is Louisa and welcome to today's video. I'm very excited about it. I turn 30 early next week, which is crazy because I remember like my 20th birthday like it was yesterday. I was just like, oh, time is fleeting. And for a while I've been thinking that I would do a video, perhaps like 20 limiting beliefs that I'm leaving behind in my 20s, or this morning I was like maybe 6 major breakthroughs I had in my later 20s that I wish I knew earlier. And I decided to just keep it simple because there's truly one thing I realized, and that has kind of been the catalyst for everything in my life shifting. I made this realization in fall-ish of 2022. So almost 3 years ago, and I have been on an amazing journey since then, and my confidence and my self-esteem has just grown so much since then. And I'm not perfect. I still have days where I'm just like, what am I doing? But most of the time I feel really good about myself and I really like who I am. And that came from this one realization. And that's the realization that you can control your narrative. You do not have to continue to subscribe to the narrative or the storyline that society, your family, your friends, your peers, your past experiences have given to you. And I remember when I first realized this, I was like, I kind of feel stupid because that feels so simple. Like, yeah, I don't have to follow a narrative that other people gave me. But at the same time, there's a lot of people that I don't think truly realize that. And they're living a life that was picked for them or a narrative that they've outgrown. So for me, when I was in high school, I experienced a rejection, and that rejection carried over into every aspect of my life. And so I had a low self-esteem for years and years, and it wasn't until 3 years ago when people that I had recently met, so newer people in my life that didn't know the stuff I'd gone through in high school and college, were like, hey, like you're kind of intense. And I was like, yeah, you're right. You're right. And it made me take a look at myself because I thought that I was a really positive person. Despite having mental illness, I have been diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder, or OCD, and having bouts of anxiety and depression that really caused a lot of problems in my life. Like, I medically withdrew from college twice due to depression and anxiety. These people didn't know any of that. And despite going through all of that, I thought that I was a pretty positive person for the most part because I was very open, still am very open about my mental health struggles, and I ended up going back to school, I ended up graduating, and I thought, for the most part, for having mental illness, I was pretty positive. And then these people were like, hey, you're just a little intense for us, for getting to know you. So I went back and looked at journal and diary entries that I made around that time, and then a few years prior. And I was just absolutely stunned while reading this stuff. I had no idea that I had that much of a victim mindset, but it showed up in pages. A lot of it was, why does this always happen to me? Or, why can't I ever get this? Or why can't I ever find success in this area? And I was like, oh my God, I don't want to live like this. This isn't who I want to be. And I made the realization that I don't have to live that way anymore. I get to choose. For the longest time in my life, I told myself, I'm not like the rest. Like, I always have to be resilient, or I always have to find a different way to get the things I want. And that doesn't have to be the case. And it took a long time to change that narrative. And I'm still working on it to this day, 3 years later. It's not, it's something you continue to grow. But especially when you've had those thoughts of, I'm a failure, nothing works out for me, I always have to work so much harder to get things than other people. When that's your mindset 24/7, like, I genuinely have no idea how I lived. Like, it was miserable. I was very jealous of other people. I was very angry and upset a lot of the time. I really wish I would have learned that I didn't have to subscribe to that narrative a lot sooner, because I feel now at this point, about to turn 30, I really like who I am. I like my narrative. I've gone from I'm a victim to, you know what, I really like who I am. I really like the things I do. I'm really proud of how far I've come, and I like me. And it's okay if I've experienced rejection in the past. That doesn't mean that I'm constantly rejected. I am chosen. I am appreciated. I am loved. And I am a success story. And my life is so much better. I'm so much happier. And it's just the best. Now, I know there are a few arguments to this mindset. So first of all, I want to say, if you have mental illness, because I do too, okay? I understand when you have mental illness that one of the most frustrating things is when people are like, well, just be happy, change your thoughts, like if you're sad or you're self-loathing or whatever. And you're like, if I could, I would, okay? And I'm totally right there with you, okay? But let's think about this. I think it is realistic for everyone, even if you have mental illness, to change one thought or one narrative about themselves in a day. Okay, so let's think about this. Humans think thousands upon thousands of thoughts per day. Okay, if you are lying in your bed and you're like, I am so depressed, I can't get up, I've been there, it's the worst. Okay, I'm not saying that you have to change all of your thoughts to, I'm the best thing ever, I'm the best thing ever, I'm the best thing ever. Okay, I get it. That's hard to do. That's a major shift. But I think everyone is capable of having at least one thought that's positive about themselves. It starts with one positive thought, and then you keep repeating and keep repeating until that new narrative or that new thought, belief becomes your reality. So wherever you are in your life today, whatever narrative you feel like you've had in the past, I just want you to think about it today and go, what is my story? Because you are the one that gets to determine it. You are the one that gets to determine who you are. And just know that you are in control of that narrative, and you can change it at any time. It's never too late to change. Thanks, guys. Bye.